Hello and welcome to the Tarot of Service, where we unlock the secret symbols of the Tarot. I'm May Edwards, and I'm so glad you stopped by the channel. It has been a minute since my last Tarot video. I've returned home to my favorite place on earth, the City of Angels, and I'm finally back in the groove of sharing with you my high magic mystery studies. Today is all about the High Priestess Tarot card, a consciousness I relate to so much I even carry this Pamela Coleman Smith illustration on my cell phone. The High Priestess's esoteric title is the Princess of the Silver Star. I love it. And her name literally means Chief Feminine Elder. Cosmically and symbolically, she is the substratum, the supportive structure of all planes of existence, the pre-cosmic root of substance. Her keywords are mystery, intuition, and things yet to be revealed. To me, she is the repository of cosmic memory. Her direction of so below balances the magician's as above direction, and she, as the prima materia, carries out what the magician initiates. The High Priestess's tarot card number is 2, which always reminds me of a mirror or of a reflection. The High Priestess's Hebrew letter in the Hebrew alphabet is the double letter Gimel, which means camel. And I like to think of this camel as the ship of the desert because of the High Priestess's 13th path straight up to Kether the crown on the Tree of Life, which is the longest, most arduous stretch. It certainly is the dark night of the soul. In Hebrew arithmetic, Gimel's numerical value is 3. So her tarot number is 2, and her numerical value is 3. Her intelligence is the uniting intelligence. She is the reconciler of opposites, and it is really a title called the essence of glory. The High Priestess's symbol is the moon, and just like the camel is a ship of the desert, I like to think of the moon as a ship of the skies. She's all about movement and travel and discovery and journeying to a destination. And when you examine who the moon rules in the zodiac, it's the sign of Cancer, whose tarot card is the Chariot, another hot rod also on a mission. When I look at her blue-white robe and the moon at her feet, it makes sense that the alchemists attribute to her the conditions of cold and moist, and fittingly the color scale of the High Priestess is indeed blue, the color of the moon and of water. And going deeper still, on the esoteric color scale, the path of the High Priestess ranges from the deepest blue indigo of Absoluth to the colors for water and the moon. And for those of us who are musically oriented, we can magically attribute all manners of blue when hearing or playing in the High Priestess's musical tone of G sharp or A flat. And as a moon-ruled Cancerian myself, I have devoted the last 4 years of my life to studying the High Priestess's moon and her 28 lunar mansions. I wrote 30 songs and created 30 music videos, 28 of which were about the psychologies of ancient Persia's lunar astrology for around 1100 AD. My art installation for the High Priestess is called Lunare Lumen. And please check it out on my website, lunarelumen.com, or right here on my YouTube channel under Lunare Lumen Alchemical Water. You can find my Lunare Lumen music soundtrack on all music streaming services. Also, I so hope you'll check out my Lunare Lumen Oracle deck. Back to deciphering the High Priestess Tarot card. So she sits on a cube of salt between the pillars of Solomon and Hermes. The cube represents Earth. Between the white pillar with the initial J for Jachin and the black pillar with the initial B for Boaz, the High Priestess essentially becomes the middle pillar. Jachin is the creative principle of every single thing, the pillar of mercy, the yes activation. Boaz means resistance and inertia and form. It is the pillar of severity, clearly announcing no. Atop the capitals of both pillars are lotus buds. They are closed buds signifying subconscious, not yet bloomed, into the conscious realm. The High Priestess wears a silver crown, silver being the metal of the moon, but it's not just any crown. It's the waxing, full, waning crown of the Egyptian goddess Isis herself. On her chest is the equal-armed cross. Is it the solar cross? Or is it the goddess Hecate's crossroads? Or is it the point of power where the left to right timeline of past and future meets in the middle of spirit descending into form? The point of power in the now. And this equal-armed cross also symbolizes Tav, the final letter in the Hebrew alphabet. So perhaps the High Priestess may be asking you to enjoy the ride, because before you know it, the journey will be over. On her lap sits her secret scroll, and maybe it's a record of all the memories ever held in our subconscious. We can read the word Torah, but is it the Hebrew Torah, which is the book of law, or is it rota, derived from Latin, to which the word for wheel in Taro and Buddhism, for that matter, has its roots? And there's a veil behind the High Priestess called the Virgo Intacta. And on the veil are symbols of the palm tree and the pomegranate fruit. Perhaps it's symbols for the secret church between the divine and the enlightened human. It could be the symbols for male and female. And behind that Virgo Intacta veil is the ocean. And flowing out from her robe is a river of water. And this is the beginning of all water flowing into the major arcana. The water of life emanates from the High Priestess. And I like to think of it as a stream of memories that flow through the story that is the major arcana. Whenever I draw the High Priestess Tarot card, my intuition gets activated and I see her smiling, her eyes saying, "You tell me." She asks us to pause and search our emotions before moving forward, to know thyself, to trust our gut. You already know the answer. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and choose notifications. I'll be back soon with our next tarot talk about the Empress. Until next time, please be so good to yourself for me.